Hello, fellow Blues. So, a a moment where we had momentum. We had got 4 points back. We were really excited. We got our first penalty. VAR even went on our side today. We had a penalty opportunity wasted. Betto came in, got his goal, tails up, and then you blink, and the final result 3-1. So, Chad's back with us, and we have Ryan here as well. So, Chad, what did you think of the match?
I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. I can't believe I spent the past nearly 2 hours watching that. I'm annoyed. Ryan, were you there?
I was. Can you hear me clearly, guys?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, you're clear.
I'm just in the car coming out of Goodison, and I second what you're saying, Chad. But me and Basil were at the match with my father. It was a waste of time that I'll never get back. You know what? I'm actually going to say I'm losing a bit of patience with the manager now. I think if you go in a quarter of a season without winning a game, you go in 1,000 minutes without scoring a goal from open play, you get a goal, you miss a penalty, and then you concede two of the most stupid goals you'll ever concede, then I don't know how you can not put pressure on him. He's not got a free pass for me. I'm paying good money to go and watch that, and it's utter garbage.
Yeah, I feel that same level of frustration that we're hearing from you right now. I think we have a squad of players that are mediocre, bang average at best. I feel like I'm at a loss for words because I can't believe I sat through 90 minutes. The first 45 were some atrocious football, sloppy, unambitious. I liked us far better in the second half, but just some really puzzling decisions by the manager and mental lapses by this team. And now we've walked away. This was a game where we should have gotten 3 points easily. We were the better side for the overall majority of this game, and we end up losing 3-1.
I know Chris is going to have a lot to digest and run through with you and myself, but just want to say, we moaned about not getting the points back for the Premier League. We're not getting them 3 points back. We're not even getting that 1 point back, and we're not getting the 2 we dropped last week at Brighton. So we need to, instead of fixating on off the pitch matters, let's think about how we can become a better on the pitch team and actually do it with the football. Because I think we've got two poor fullbacks there. You can digest it, and I can really go in hard on them for the goals and stuff. But you've got 2 poor fullbacks. You've got wingers that don't do anything the whole match. You got Decore who's in and out. Onana, who looks composed but then is tactically inept and technically inept at the key moments. And you've got strikers that miss easy chances. I know Betto scored, but missing a penalty. Come on. And why in that situation is he not taking himself out of the firing line? Why is he stood there with 15 minutes to think about what he's going to do? Get yourself out of that situation. Don't let yourself get intimidated by the goalkeeper. Don't let yourself get intimidated by the other players, and have a bit of composure. And then on that chance where he goes through one-on-one from 3 yards on his right foot, if he's not scoring that type of goal, there's serious question marks. I know I'm jumping from thing to thing, but I'm very, very angry that we allowed that to happen. And that third goal, when James Garner hits the first man, and then the referee gives him the honour of taking the same corner again, and he fucking hits it at the first man again, and then they go and score. It's inexplicable.
Yeah, I completely.
And better get Ryan. After he got his second chance, he wins the ball back, and then he gives it away.
Yeah, so my biggest issue is if we let's go back to the first, because from the moment that match started, you can see what Sean Dyche was trying to do. We were trying to get our fullbacks up into the attack more, to own possession, be more progressive, and it just a sloppy display of what looked to be very and not confident footballers out there, not knowing what to do with the ball. I don't know if it's because we've been in possession of the ball so little over the course of this season that when we finally decide to get on the front foot and try to do something with it, that we're incapable. Betto missing that wide open chance, or not wide open. I'll give him. It wasn't an easy chance, but certainly one of the better chances our strikers have found at their feet over the course of this season. Then Dyche going to him for that penalty when Decore is right there and is a far better option, and making me just even thinking about it again. I have to go back and rewatch this match if I feel like hurting myself and rewatching this match again, which I will. I know those are the things that are going to stick out to me. And real quick, can Harrison please get the ball off of his feet? I don't need to see him playing with his food anymore. Instead of doing something with the ball, he's just going to continue to play with it and hope he creates something, which he never seems to do. I'm rambling here, but you can probably sense my frustration coming through.
Can I jump in on that? I want to talk about some of the key moments from my perspective. And I do think you're right, Chad. It would be worth looking back from a tactical and see what went wrong and why those happened. But let's talk about the goals. I've been clamoring for us to make better crosses and for our strikers not to just pin themselves on opposition defenders. And what Betto did well for his goal was sorry, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
He found space away from the two markers. He didn't stand on one of the centre halves and play rugby or boxing. He got between them and nodded it in, and the delivery was better because it was taken at a time when the West Ham players were facing their own goal, running back to their own goal, which we don't do. We normally wait till they're set and they're facing the play, and our strikers got to somehow take it and twist it. Yeah, my dad's coming in and say we were quitter. So that was the better goal. So that was a positive. A negative, the goal that they equalised with, they've got one threat from the set piece. I'd say arguably maybe 2 or 3, Thomas Souček and Kurt Zouma and possibly the centre half. Block them players. They are the ones that are going to score. Why are you leaving Kurt Zouma with a free header off the back of his head? Secondly, if you've got a man on the post, why is he not anticipating that he's going to have to clear it off the line? Thirdly, you've got the second goal, which they score. You're leaving Ben Godfrey 1v1 against Mohamed Kudus, who is their best player. He was the best player on the pitch by far. You've let him. You've not doubled up on him. He's got the ball in. He's picked a perfect pass to the back post. Mikalenko has then got to go out at the speed of light. The keeper's got to change his feet or the angle or do something, and they go and score, and it's completely avoidable. And the third goal we've already talked about, but if Dyche is not doing the game management, then what else is he doing?
Yeah, this comment. Look at this comment here from TJ Mid, and I thought the exact same thing. Second game in a row where Godfrey is the one marking their biggest goal threat on corners, and he's just not big enough. He's not big enough. He's not able to push them off of their space and neutralize that threat. I don't understand what we're doing in that instance.
Yeah, and what was it? It ended up that what's his name again? Branthwaite ended up having to come across to help Godfrey. Godfrey was just out-muscled against Zouma, but it was so easy. And Dyche knows better, should know better, right?
Yeah, it's ironic that Dyche is now for the second week in a row been hurt by corners, and especially when we've been really so stout against them up until this recent time in the season. It's a sickening kind of feeling sitting in your stomach knowing that we just had to that football. What did you think overall about the change going from Betto to, or going from Dominic Calvert-Lewin to Betto? What were your thing? And I know you were on you were streaming during the match. So maybe if we have any new viewers here, what did you think of that change?
So, he created a lot more than I expected he would on a match like this. Kurt Zouma is like Bambi on ice. Big, muscular dude, wears gloves and doesn't know how to interact. I felt that Betto was actually they didn't know how to handle him, which is interesting because usually he's so busy being the muscular guy. But Betto breaking through and having those opportunities, fantastic. But then I don't want Betto to have the opportunity to score, but we need Betto to create the opportunity. So you either have someone that may convert when he's on his game. DCL isn't right now. Chimiti, who what was it, like the last 2 minutes they brought him on? So it had to be Betto. I thought he was actually, outside of not scoring his opportunities, he caused a lot of problems. Was it good enough? Well, no, he missed a penalty. I think someone else should have taken it. His header was excellent, but the service today, a lot of crosses, a lot of not deep enough, not back post, really comfortable for Areola to look good. And that was on us, delivery-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Areola did look good. He stopped several chances. Yeah, you hit it right on the head. I think, I had tweeted during the match that Betto got 2 better chances in the first half than Dominic Calvert-Lewin has gotten all season. That is either a result of being very fortunate or Betto just creating those chances. I thought he did a great job of shielding his man. I thought holding the ball up was fine. The funny thing is that the team in that first half mirrored him as a player. It was chaotic and messy, and everything that Betto is, we saw the entire team kind of mold themselves around, but we created opportunities based off of that. Yeah. I don't know what I would want to see moving forward. But him taking the penalty is inexcusable. You could see it in his eyes as he was standing there waiting to take it. He looked like a deer in the headlights. And I knew from the moment I was watching, I had a feeling he was going to miss that.
Yeah. Well, my brother David, who's part of the show, you will meet him at some point. He starts getting his phone out next to me to try and film this penalty, and I'm saying there's no way he's scoring this. I would literally bet my house on this guy not scoring this penalty. His body language, the fact he's been stood there for about 10 minutes before, and all the time in the world, having a casual chat with the keeper, having a chat with the other players. It mentally, that doesn't serve you very well for the penalty. And then he's very straight with his run-up, but then he changes it. And the way he does it is he was always going into that corner. And I said he should have gone the other side. The other side was the side. If he's doing that sort of open body shape, you fluff the keeper and send him the wrong way and go back the opposite. And he didn't do it. He never looked confident. But I think we've got to give him some credit for getting the goal. And he had a good game overall, I think, apart from his finishing. And I just think, he showed a bit of resilience to score after facing so much adversity.
Yeah, I think he did play well overall in the aggregate of his entire effort. He was a plus for us. He was a huge handful for them. You could see that they were trying to keep an eye and mark him at all times. He was the only real goal threat in the side for the first 65, 70 minutes or so.
Can we also agree that West Ham are not good? Yeah. West Ham were not good.
No. There was a couple of players that were good for them. Alvarez, Kudus, yeah, and maybe their right back. No, their left back was okay. They looked dangerous on the overlap there. Kufal was fine, and then Alvarez was doing a lot. But outside of that, they looked quite punchless. I was worried about Bowen. He really didn't do much, and we still gave away 3 goals.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. I was worried about that West Ham front 4 coming into the match. Kudus is very, very dangerous. Bowen, as we all know, is a goal threat no matter where up.
Yeah. We let them, when we scored the goal, for some reason, it went all gung-ho. The game opened up, which didn't help us. It helped West Ham. And then we're all panicky. You're giving them space. They've got players who hurt you if you give them space. The rest of the game, apart from a 5-minute spell, between probably 10 minutes and 20 minutes, sorry, that's a 10-minute spell. I think between 10 minutes and 20 minutes into the game and the 5 minutes after we scored, we were absolutely the better team, and West Ham never looked like scoring any more than we did.
No, they were. I think for large parts of that of the match, we were the better side. We were sitting on, it was 1-1, and I felt really confident that we were going to get another goal and we were going to win that match. And at no point did I think they looked like a threat whatsoever. They had a single shot on goal up until I think their header on the cross came. So I did not see a top Premier League side to me. I did not see a team that I felt in any way. It feels like not only it just feels like 3 points lost to me. We should have been 3 points all day. And hey, I'll answer a quick question in the chat. Someone said if I could explain my reasoning on Decore on the penalty. not that it was Decore that I would have been pushing for there. I would have much rather had Dominic Calvert-Lewin if he was available to take that penalty. It's just anybody other than Betto. He just does not offer any composure at all. Does not put me at ease. That I've all said this here on the chat now, that none of us felt comfortable in him taking it. I would have felt better about Dwight McNeil, Jack Harrison in that instance. Just not Betto in that instance. It was too important. We needed the points too badly today, and up in that position was just a major failing, especially after he missed that chance earlier in the match. Chris,
I honestly felt the same. I thought McNeil was going to be the one. What was your question? Sorry.
I just want to know into the second half when it seemed like we were creating countless chances. I thought McNeil had a couple really nice, ambitious moments, some very difficult shots outside the box. What did you think about the momentum that it seemed like that we were playing with to start that second half, and then we ended up getting our goal? How were you feeling in that moment?
So right before the goal, but that I felt the entire time today we were braver on the ball, but we were just so sloppy. When you think back to like Crystal Palace, everything's a long ball. We give it away. There was a bunch of that kind. There was still a component of that, but for a while there, Garner and Onana deserved credit, and then they lost credit in my eyes, either by lack of legs or what have you. They weren't able to run with the ball as well. And what I noticed is McNeil was lacking the leg speed, but they were trying to expose them on their right back position. Decore went out left. McNeil came in the middle, and McNeil was actually looking really dangerous in his own way. He's not a full speed winger, but he was meandering through the middle and had a few well connected strikes. They were a bit of backspin.
Where was the end product though? When he was,
it wasn't there.
I agree. He was running through the middle. And actually, if you watch the game back, you'll see that McNeil didn't play on the wing for the first 15, 20 minutes. He was drifted in. Then he went back out wide, and we suffered a little bit in terms of his play because our wingers were the worst players on the pitch. McNeil and Harrison were the worst players in the first half, and Harrison certainly in the second half was absolutely tragic. My grandma's 95, soon to be 96, and she's got more end product than him. But I think Dwight McNeil, when he drifted into the midfield, he looked like a threat and he's running at pace. And you're thinking, okay, but now what? Why are you not slipping in the striker? Why are you not slipping in someone? And he did do that to Harrison. And then Harrison doesn't want to trust his right foot. Harrison looks like his feet are trying to keep up with his brain, or something not quite right with him. He's uneasy to watch.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's just not a lot of options on the right. I urged when it looked like they went to a 4-1 by bringing in Gomez and then having Decore playing both higher with Garner pushed out to the right. I thought that was a really ambitious kind of lineup for Sean. Didn't seem like something I would have expected out of Sean Dyche, leaving Onana as that lone six. Maybe it's something that we hope to see. Certainly, leaving up 2 goals after those substitutes. Was a lot of desire in that lineup to potentially get a goal there.
The Andre Gomez substitution was
you're
the right
nailing
substitution.
Yeah.
I mean, to that point though, James Garner going to right midfield did not make sense to me. Or do you think it was, Ryan?
The Gomez substitution was the right substitution because it was about getting Jack Harrison off the pitch without kind of... I don't think he fully trusts Dobbin defensively. I think he trusts Harrison reasonably well defensively, but he's not got any sort of end product with his crossing or his finishing or anything really. I don't know what he is.
And if Garner's going to cross if Garner's going to cross the way he did on that header, then maybe that is an option. I just don't know if we can reliably count on him to do that.
Harrison.
But it was like 10% of his crosses were good.
Harrison, unfortunately, has to beat 2 players because we don't bring anyone over like Godfrey. We don't bring anyone over to create an overload to try and take a defender away. So he's always got 2 players on him to compress him and just make him lose the ball. He's probably very easy to defend against. But James Garner showed his crossing should be good. I mean, he got the assist. And so I get why he put James Garner on the wing, and Gomez actually was the right substitution for more than one reason, because West Ham actually dropped off, let us have possession, and there was only one team looking to win the game, and Everton with Andre Gomez had a bit of control of what was going on.
They did. They look good. They look good. And that's why I hope we see that again. I think Harrison needs to sit. I think he needs to. I think either he's putting too much pressure on himself or he's just not up to the moment. He needs, and it needs to be Dobbin. I don't have faith that Dyche is gonna move to Lewis Dobbin. Putting Chermiti and Dobbin, I don't know. That felt like raising the white flag to me. But I certainly hope that we see something with Gomez and Decore, and hopefully in the mid being able to create chances.
Yeah, there was a comment from the Blues right there. But so there's a comment that I wanted to touch back on, and maybe I need to think back on the detail on it. But yes, James Garner was really effective when he started in the middle and meandered out to a wide place. Starting wide, taking on a man out wide, that's where the difference is. James Garner, for a lot of today, I actually was really impressed by how he was taking on the game. Yes, some sloppy passing, but he wasn't like a lot of the rest of the team passing it back as much. You roll the dice on giving the ball away more, but his goal, that was an excellent cross. I found the problem, though, was by putting him on the right midfield position, we didn't really have, as we were saying just before, Harrison was poor. We didn't, no one trusts Patterson, or Dyche doesn't trust Patterson or Dobbin in that right midfield slot. He trusts James Garner, but I find him way more, he's more effective when he starts in the middle and goes out wide on the right foot, because he's not trying to cut into his left that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. If you've got a player on the right like Jack Harrison and the fullback in Ben Godfrey, it's 2v2 at best if Godfrey actually does get forward. And he should, because he's meant to have the pace to get back. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point. And then if James Garner drifts over to that right-hand channel to create some triangles, to try and get into better crossing areas to then cross, and then get people in the box, Decore in the box, the left wing or the left back even piling up. I think we're best when we push up, when we are aggressive, when we do press, when we do make it difficult. And then when we sit off, I don't know. I also just want to say, if you're not already subscribed and you're watching this show right now, hit the subscribe button. Chris is new and Chad is new, but make sure you mention it. Sorry.
Yeah, please do. Likes. But watch for us on your social media channels, and then opt in whenever we go live. We will be here for a little while longer. Chris, I'm gonna have to turn it over to you in a couple of minutes. I have to go coach a match myself. But I did think that I like some of the things that Decore was doing. He doesn't seem to be himself quite yet. I think we are starting to see some of Abdoulaye Decore affecting the match. I did like Dominic Calvert-Lewin's moments when he for 20, 25 minutes at the end. I didn't see any problems with his display. I think the frustrating thing in reviewing this match, and I'll watch it again, as I said, is that we had the shots, we had the opportunity, we were on the front foot, and we didn't have the quality to score goals. And they did. They had the moments of quality, and they ended up with the 3 points. And I thought we had all the ambition today with none of the result.
The last two games, the points dropped has been absolute robbery, and that's 5 points. And that's more points than we've been crying about, which we've ended up getting back. And so we'd have been better off keeping our focus on the pitch and seeing out those games. I wouldn't have been against bringing on Michael Keane and shutting up shop and going 5 at the back and just making sure they can't get these chances in the box to score, because we've got enough bodies and we've got enough defensive. But Dyche is doing the opposite of what I believe Dyche will do. Now, what I want to ask you is, where are the points coming from? Because we've got Man United next weekend away. We've got Liverpool at home. We're not going to get anything from either of them 2 games. We're not going to get anything at Arsenal. Where are the points coming from? We need another 10 points, in my opinion, to stay up.
Let me see if I can get the graphic of the next upcoming matches. Might be hard for you to see, Ryan, but I'll bring it up here quickly and see if this works. Oh, wrong one, sorry. We have these fixtures coming up next. So we have United, I think next weekend. That Liverpool match is postponed. Then we have Bournemouth away. We haven't done well there. We have Newcastle away. Burnley at home, April 6th. Huge opportunity right there. Away at Chelsea. There's always a chance against Chelsea, I think. Home against Forest. Away against Brentford. Or home against Brentford. Away against Luton. Home against Sheffield. That's like, what? Forest, Brentford, Luton, Sheffield. That's where our points come from right now. And Burnley. So that's 5 matches. So how many points did you were thinking, Ryan? We need another 10?
We need 10, but they'll be thinking the same thing. That Everton are shite, and we're going to target those games to get points off Everton to get us out of it, rather than the other way around. We need to be going into those games already safe, and we would be safe pretty much with 1 win had we not fluffed the last 2 matches.
Yeah, and we have to worry about another, in my view, but everyone's got their own view on it. I think we're losing another 6 points right now. If you don't anticipate that, I think we're naive. It could be better than that, but I think if we expect another 6 points, then we get enough, and we can still be comfortable. That's my way of being okay on match week 38.
Yeah, that's like going into a date saying, I hope I get. I mean, I know I'm expecting getting dumped afterwards. I don't want to think that we're going to lose another point. We could do a whole nother podcast just about the possible points deductions upcoming. I think there's a lot of winnable matches here. We could certainly beat Man United next weekend. Bournemouth doesn't scare me whatsoever. The only ones that I view as very, very difficult are going to be probably Newcastle at home, but we handled them already. What I mean, and then of course Arsenal and Liverpool to end the season. There's no reason why we should not have another 15 points left to be won here as I look over the fixtures.
Yeah, we say that, but that's I think the frustrating point right now. This was
we've
one
not
of those
won
matches.
a game. We've not won in 10 matches, and we've just drawn and lost games that we were winning up until late. So I don't know what basis, Chad. I admire your optimism, and you should be right, but unfortunately, you're probably not.
No, I'm probably not. I'm going to continue to hope. Either that, or we need Forest and Luton to lose every week, and I'll feel just as good all the same.
I don't know what it looks like when you're watching it on TV because at the game we're sitting on the end, and you can't get a full picture of it. But it looked like we were very, very spread out. And at the very start of the game, we were quite compact, the way we played the long ball, and we were around the striker and trying to suffocate them. And then we spread ourselves out and tried to stretch them. But we don't have the legs, and we don't have the pace, and we don't have the skill to do any 1v1, and we don't have enough quality. So it doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know what the manager's trying to do. He's gone 10 games without a win, and I think he's got to be under some pressure now.
Yeah, so there's a comment here that I think is quite interesting. So to be fair, there were lots of misplaced passes to begin with, and those missed chances too. We just don't look tight at the moment. And that's what's kind of funny. We either play so uptight that we have no creativity, or I felt we did take on the game a little bit more than in previous weeks. It opened up the game for a lot of opportunities for them to come back at us. They weren't looking that dangerous, but I do appreciate, and we need to figure that out. But James Garner, he had some horrible moments, but he was really effective at actually being a passing option, pivoting and moving the ball. Onana did a couple in the first 5-10 minutes, and then he went back to good old Onana, keep possession. He gets 100% pass accuracy by passing back to Tarkowski, Braithwaite, and Pickford. Congratulations, you've got a good stat, and you didn't impact it. So there's a few pieces like that how do we tease that out? Because I thought Garner, until he had some really poor moments at the end that really dropped my rating, but I thought he was actually much better than previous weeks.
Yeah, he's just like every other player on the side. We can't count on them to be consistent and offer any kind of and predictability from a fan standpoint to make sure we feel confident that we're going to get every week. It's the same thing. You're going to get a 7 out of 10, but then they're going to be right next to someone who's going to give you a 4 or a 5 out of 10. And we saw that just midfield with Harrison being quite poor, Garner looking very competent, probably a 7 out of 10. Onana having mixed moments, but maybe about a 6. and Dwight also probably about a 6. So we don't have anyone capable of giving us that 8 out of 10 display, especially from the wide spaces and any kind of attacking position. If Decore is not going to be in form.
Well, our
that's just kinda where we
expectation is
sit.
now. Our expectation is now very low that we consider Mikolenko a quality left back. He is not a quality left back. He can defend quite well. He is a glorified centre back playing left back. He can't cross a ball. He can't get forward. He offers nothing. He's useless. And I've said that all day long. And all Ben Godfrey is a rugby player with a bit of pace. And anyone says
I like
anything
that one.
differently is wrong. I don't.
Yeah, I agree with the Ben Godfrey thing. What's kind of funny is I think you may have every time I'm doing these watch-alongs, I get really pissed off when Ben Godfrey has a throw-in opportunity, and then you just nailed it right. A rugby player can't pass it forward. It would be a foul. So you must throw the ball backwards to make sure you're not fouling. And maybe that's what it is, because his delivery has been really poor. And it's really
Why does he take them? He takes those.
Well, why don't we just do a long throw-in?
Yeah, you've got a target man. You've got your target man obsessed with pinning a centre half. I know Chad's got to go in a set, so maybe let him go. But you've got a centre forward who wants to do it. Thank you, Chad. You've got a centre forward, and you're refusing to throw to throw the ball forward and try and win off that rather than play back. But I get why he wants to keep possession. I'll pass it to Basil because Basil's been to the game.
Oh, Basil's in. Awesome. So Basil might come here in a minute, but something else that I think was really interesting was how many of our players actually had a good opportunity to strike the ball that wasn't just Betto, Decore, or McNeil. There was a really good chance for Ben Godfrey. Basil's. You there, Basil?
Basil's asleep, but I've got someone else with me. Hello, mate.
Okay. Oh, hello, mate. How's it going?
Hello, lads. I'm Ryan's granddad.
Hello, Ryan's granddad. Great to meet you officially.
Yeah, I remember Dixie Dean. None of these players would be fit to lace his boots.
And you might be right. Back then we had a different kind of football. You strike it, and maybe it's a little bit more forgiving. But TJ Mid, one of our long listeners here, brings up a good point. Would you trust Onana to strike the ball, or Ben Godfrey to shoot from outside the 18-yard box? Ryan's granddad.
Oh, he's gone, mate.
Oh, he's gone. Okay.
Yeah, he's passed away. What I was going to say was Ben Godfrey had an opportunity from the outside of the box to do that, and he fluffed it and sent it over. And Onana had it, and they sent it well wide. And you know what? They all had it. What are the statistics over the shots in this match?
Let me go pull some up, and I can see if I can look at some of the high-level stats on my second screen. Okay. So, yeah, if Ryan wants to go through some comments while I try and see if SofaScore doesn't lag out on me. It's a powerful but auto-updating kind of app. So, so some of the key stats for the game, Ryan.
Yeah, before we
XG,
wrap it up. Yeah, I think it'll
XG,
be about 3 for Everton.
2.7. And 1.73 for West Ham. Possession?
Yeah, we were the better team. Yeah. I think we had more of the ball as well in that game for once.
Yeah, we did. We had 55%. They had 45%. How about shots?
A lot more for Everton. Probably about, I think we had about 7 or 8 on target and about 14 or 15 in total.
You know, what's interesting here, we had 22 shots in total, 11 on target. And some of those are probably like in the box and like a pass to Areola counts. We also had a penalty opportunity. They had 12 shots total, 5 on target.
Yeah,
corners were about even.
Too many for an away team.
Yeah, but that's 5 strikes on target with a good counter-attacking team is, well, you saw it, 3 goals. Corners were about equal, 5-5. Big chances, 5 for Everton, 3 for us, or 3 for them. We missed 4 of our big chances. They missed 1 of theirs. Not sure how that works. I guess one of their goals wasn't a big chance.
No,
Shots inside the box,
Kurt's involved.
11 for us, 9 for them. 11 outside the box for us, 3 for them. And that's kind of the other thing too. Ryan, we've talked about this a little bit, but I'm really nervous about all of it. We were claiming we're a good defensive unit. We're big at the back. No one can break us down. And now we're giving away these sloppy headers. And we could have gotten a lot of goals scored against us against Brighton. They just didn't. They headed it right to Pickford. There's something going on defensively that we need to figure out. Branthwaite, I thought, was actually quite good today. I don't know about you, but
Yes,
Tarkovsky
he
was
was.
trying to pass it through the middle. And he was giving some of it was I appreciated, but he gave away a few sloppy chances that we could have actually scored. That was when Godfrey
Some good passes as well.
and Tarkovsky and Pickford do this emergency kind of save, and Kudus nearly scores. So
Yes,
there's a few of
yes,
these
that
like
was the warning sign.
that was
a
the warning
major
sign.
Warning sign. And
Yep.
that was unacceptable. West Ham should have scored. But we the centre backs for Everton are good, but I think everyone else, 2 defensive midfielders are quite good as well, and the goalkeeper's good, but the rest of them are pitiful, and they make your eyes bleed watching it. Branthwaite was good, Tarkovsky was good, but what was the question?
I'm trying to remember now. I think I was just trying to rant for a second. The other,
Okay.
so one thing that got brought up here by Martin Cummings, I was actually looking at those some of these statistics on the Athletic. If any of you guys watch it on the different right back options, the comment here: Ben Godfrey is dreadful in the air with heading, and it's not that Dice doesn't know. So how are we setting up? What's interesting statistically, according to the Athletic, they say he's the best of our right back options in the air. Maybe that's right because he is that glorified rugby player, but he wins headers not usually in the box defending corners. He wins it on across to the let's say Areola kicks it to Kudus and he wins a header in the halfway line. Those are the kind of headers he wins. He isn't winning against someone of his own size in the box.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He gets in good positions defensively to stop cross, to block, to defend the box. He doesn't really stop the cross that well, from what I can see. He doesn't offer anything going forward, and he's tactically not very good and technically not very good. And also, but we didn't help him today because we let Kudus run 1v1 against him, and Kudus is good enough to play for Manchester City, in my opinion. I think the corner thing is inexplicable because you just have to. You don't put Ben Godfrey up against Kurt Zouma. You might have him as the blocker and then have one other person defending him. But Dyche doesn't want to waste his best headers of the ball man marking, and I think he does. I think he's going to have some zonal, some man markers, and some on the line.
So I think James Garner was back post for that one. I was saying it live, so I think I remembered Garner was on the back post. So maybe that's another ding against him for today. But yeah, if we have 3 players that should win headers against almost everyone in the league, in James Tarkovsky, Amadou Onana, and Jared Branthwaite. And Branthwaite had to be pulled out of position to help Godfrey. So does every team have that many threats that we couldn't free up one of? So yes, we're going to talk about the person who scored as if they're the only one dangerous to score from. But let's say Tarkovsky,
but he's
you're not zonal marking. You're the only. There's more than one usually, but we always talk about the one that scores. But Zouma today, and I'm forgetting the guy from Brighton. But whoever that player is for them, just put Tarkovsky on him, and then Branthwaite and Onana play zonal. Can we afford to do it? I feel like we must be able to. We have enough.
It
big
depends
bodies
how big that threat is. If it's if we're winning 1-0 and we're holding on to a game and we've got Lewis Dunk who looks like he's going to score every time, then yeah. Chris, there's been 100 people plus watching the whole stream. People in and out, I assume. So we need to basically say to them, if you're watching, please can you subscribe? I know 50% of people who watch the streams don't subscribe. They just lurk. They watch them now and again. But I want to just politely ask you, cost nothing, just to click that subscribe button. and support us.
Yeah, and please do. These we're trying to do some in match content as well for those that were able to watch today. So being able to subscribe helps grow our channel, and it doesn't cost you guys a dime. So if you enjoy what we're doing, it'll just pop up a little bit more frequently by subscribing. So please do that, as Ryan's saying. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Ryan? I know it's probably going to be a continued frustrating evening for those that went to the match. It looked like it was a rainy, soggy end result for everyone. So
I think it's nothing we haven't seen
pretty
before.
Frustrated. Yeah.
Nothing
in
we
terms
haven't
of
seen
the
before.
nothing we haven't seen before. Crowd wise, how did you? Was it like raging the entire time? Did it feel positive when we actually went up 1-0, or were we just expecting we're going to blow it?
I think at 1-0 we thought we were going to turn them over and win 2 or 3-0, because we were the better team and we were so dominant. But I think once West Ham sort of showed that they were capable of scoring with that chance Pickford saved, and then obviously getting back into it, I thought it was. Yeah, there was part of me that thought that Calvert-Lewin would come on and score, and he had a good chance, but he doesn't have much conviction with his finishing. And then obviously, I think the West Ham thing just took us out of the blue, and I think it was bad game management, and it caught us off guard. I wouldn't say it was expected, but then obviously the crowd were absolutely livid, and then the third goal, you know, is like inexplicable.
It was nail in the coffin.
Yeah, inexplicable. I mean, I was annoyed because we were letting Lucas Packet of Crisps dictate it from midfield and have all the time in the world, and yeah, there's too much to go on. I think maybe let's call it here and revisit this again with fresh eyes.
Yeah.
You've done a great job.
Going to go down. We're just going to
well, now I'll put my feet up and watch some other results. But the one positive, Ryan, before we duck out, we actually had some positive results, and we should not want and need results from other teams. But Palace were up 1-0. They end up losing. Was it 3-1? Brentford were up against Chelsea. I think they drew in the end. So lucky us that our competitors are equally as poor as we are and are blowing points, because this could have hurt a lot more. We should count ourselves lucky that it wasn't worse, and we need to figure out our set play.
Game.
And the second,
this is one of the you're playing against a team who've got nothing to play for. They're not getting Europe. They're not getting relegated. They are epitome of mid-table. Yeah, they've got some good players. West Ham need a centre forward who's going to score 20 a season, and then they could complete much higher up the pitch. They haven't got that. They're there for the taking. And we drop points. Same with Brighton. They haven't got anything to pay for in my eyes. They're the ideal games. Crystal Palace, I've got fighting for their lives, and we bottled that. When do Luton play?
Let me check. I think they might be playing tomorrow. I haven't checked on the stream. Give me 1 second. I believe Luton are playing right now, but they are losing to Villa 1-0.
Okay. Is it 1-0 to Villa? Yeah.
Yeah, Villa's up. It's about 24 minutes in, 1-0 to Villa. So we're honestly, Ryan, this is where we're fortunate. And we blew points, but we are so lucky it's not worse. Crystal Palace lost to Tottenham, but they were up. Forest gave away a last-minute goal to the Reds. So Liverpool won 1-0, 0 points to Forest. And then Brentford let a late equalizer. So they went from 3 points to 1. We couldn't have had an easier week to make an edge, you know. We didn't.
I'm not happy about that Liverpool one at all.
99 minutes.
It's weird to be happy about Liverpool or a few of these squads helping us at all, but that's where we're at, you know.
That Liverpool one's not good because them winning the league is horrendous. Anyway,
yeah.
Chris, let's call it. Thank you so much for doing the watch along. Obviously, you didn't get to see it, but I'm sure you did a great job. Did you have a lot of people watching it?
Yeah, I think so. We had quite a few people on this call here. I guess I'll get to listen back and hear my new microphone. And for everyone listening, it was really frustrating. We're probably going to do some kind of additional reaction that isn't just real frustration at how we blew it again. So keep an eye out for that. And if not, you'll see us for match previews and everything else. And now that Chad's back from his trip to Jamaica, we'll probably have some more content coming out midweek. So thank you for everyone that's been listening. It's been a really good group of people listening and interacting. And as we said, please subscribe first, like second. We want more subscribers that you're all watching. Okay, but Follow Everton. We're trying to provide more content for you guys and really appreciate your interest and involvement in the show. And from us here at Follow Everton, thank you. Until next time, up the toffees.
Thank you.
I hope.